Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sharon Chang. I'm the head of J Labs at Shanghai for Johnson & Johnson. I'd like to welcome all the panelists and also you, the audience, to this session on Asia Biotech investors. So without further ado, we're going to now kick off the session. I'm going to ask our panelists to introduce themselves, and then I'm also going to ask them at the same time, tell us about an exciting and recent deal you did, and why did you do it? So starting with Wei Yong, please.
My name is Wei Yong. I'm the Senior Director of Global Business Development at Sanyo, a Japanese pharmaceutical company. And this year, I think the most exciting deal we did is the later stage antibody drug conjugate deal with RESI. And it is approach to antibody drug conjugate. And we moved all the way to phase 3, and we found the RESI as our partner. We have like 50-50 global profit sharing. That deal gave us $1.35 billion upfront payment, which we can use to invest in early stage stocks.
Thank you. Moving on.
Hi everyone, my name is Tai Grata. I'm an investment professional at Fast Track Initiative. And Fast Track Initiative is an independent venture capital firm in Japan. And excitingly, we are launching a new Boston office and starting a global investment franchise. And I'm spearheading the Boston office launch and global investment. Among different investments we did so far, we are really excited and excited for one investment, which is a CRISPR gene editing company. And this company is doing CRISPR gene editing for epigenetic modulation. And the original technology came from one professor in the University of Tokyo who solved research doctoral SP-Cas9 web guide array for the first time. And he engineered this protein and deactivated H&H and RAB-C domains and make this protein web epigenetic modulator. This company was formed 3 years ago, and at the time there were much less CRISPR gene editing companies, and we were so excited for this company because they are really differentiated in that they target methylation modulation, and we saw quite rapid scale out of this company in terms of collaboration and quickly going public.
Excellent introduction. Moving on.
About a year ago as a director of corporate strategy, and recently took a job as chief investment officer as High-End Health Network. It's a recently incorporated U.S. investment arm of Boreal Holdings. So recent deal that we closed is actually end of last year. We just closed. It's an indirect investment, but investment into a global top U.S. PE. So previously we were mostly done local investment in Korea, but recently we changed our focus to more global investment, cross-border investment. So that was our first U.S. investment into U.S. PE fund. So that's one exciting investment from our side, and we are also working on quite a few investment opportunities into U.S. biotech companies as well as VC funds. So stay tuned.
Thank you. And Luke?
I was just saying, so my name is Luke Han. I'm from the Bureau Ventures. We're one of the largest, most active healthcare-only venture capital firm, headquartered in Canada. We invest mostly in early-stage therapeutics, medical devices, a little bit in digital health, healthcare IT. Most recent deals we did is a company formation out of university. Followed the company, followed really the science for 2 years, and it's a regenerative company working on an allogenic way to drive T-cell maturation. We formed the company and did a partnership deal with Allogen with $300 million. It's still a C-stage company. My role in our current portfolio company, we We have active collaborations with publicly listed pharma companies, distributions from Japan, China, and looking forward to doing more in Asia.
Thank you, Lou. So I think, thank you very much for sharing the introductions and also your experience. I'd like to ask the first question to Wei Yun. And I want to ask you, are all things equal when you actually evaluate a company? So think about the team, the technology, the market opportunity, the unmet need, and are there any watch-outs?
For us, actually, the science is most important, and usually we do early stage investment through research and operation. So in that case, whether it's a novel mechanism or novel technology platform, that is most important to us. It might be a little different from pure and investment firm. In that case, probably the people is more important than the science itself, because science can always fail at the early stage, but you have a good management team, they can find another opportunity they can work on.
I would agree with that. I think at Johnson & Johnson, when we look at our applications that come into JLabs, we also heavily weight the science. If the data, the science, if the idea is not there, as much as if you have an unmet need and a good team, strategic alignment, if the science is really not strong enough, it doesn't really get you through the first conversations. But I'd actually like to now ask Ji-Woong, do you agree with that? And what are your thoughts on the same question?
I actually agree with Wei-Yong and Sharon as well, because for us, I think science and technology is the key for selecting a company to invest into. I think the reason why we are thinking that way is if you have really good science and really good technology, you can always bring in talents, partnerships, and all sorts of good things coming into the company, including investment. So I think science and technology is always the key. I think all these companies, they sometimes do not have strong management team, or strong investors, strong partners at the beginning, but with the science and technology, they can always bring these in a short term. So I do agree with you guys.
Great. So let's now move on to pitching, and when entrepreneurs, when startups pitch to companies, I'm going to ask the panelists, what advice would you have for CEOs when they're pitching to your company? And I'm going to start that question to time.
Yeah, I can give a couple ideas from independent venture capital firm standpoint. So one important point when pitching is have a clear idea on differentiation. So when you pitch to venture capital firm, most likely venture capital firm investor saw in the past similar technology or companies in the same area. So quite naturally, they have a question that what is the differentiation of this company, how this company is unique in terms of MOA. So answering to the questions, what is the uniqueness in MOA, how is that differentiated among the same companies in the same area, is the question investor would like to know. So that's one piece. And also from a bit another angle, it's also important for CEOs of startups and company to build a researchable VC companies, because venture capital firms have different philosophies, different firms have different philosophies in investment, different teams, different histories, and also different capabilities. So do some research and understand what kind of investment VC firms did in the past, and guess what kind of capabilities they have that they can bring onto the board table after the investment. And actually that assumption and your guess is really helpful for investors as well, because we can, as an investor, we can imagine what kind of capability we can bring onto the table after the investment.
Great 2 points there. And I would also just add, the value selling proposition, the differentiation is also something key. And we often talk about pitches that we receive. So I think as an entrepreneur, it's always good to have a 3-minute pitch, a 5-minute pitch, a 10-minute pitch, and a 20-minute pitch. But in all these pitches, whether you're doing a 1-minute elevator pitch or a 3-minute pitch, you still have to be able to tell us why you're different. And that's going to then initiate lots of questions internally, and that will set you up for more meetings. But different philosophies. Can you give us two contrasting examples? Or what is your philosophy at your firm?
Right, so in our case, our philosophy is really tied to how we approach to investment. Our firm investment is early stage investment, and we tend to focus on early stage and also company creation. So we hang out with PIs and universities and scout technologies and co-create companies with them. So with that, our philosophy is that one very important thing is science, and in terms of science, technology itself is really important for us. So without technology, without strong technology which can yield very strong asset on top of it, we wouldn't invest. And looking at type of companies we invested so far, that's really clear. So going to the website and doing quick research is really clear and really so easy thing to understand. And that is a kind of investment philosophy we have, and that understanding is really key when dealing with different investors.
Thank you. I'm going to ask the same question to Lou. For companies that pitch to your company, what advice would you offer to CEOs?
So I think I echo the same points. I think it's sometimes, entrepreneurs come to us with a very complicated scientific idea, and to able to articulate the differentiation in a timely fashion. Maybe that's just the way my brain works, but if after 10 minutes I still really don't know exactly what's the difference here, it's hard to get me excited. And secondly is that listen to the things that investors are telling you. Oftentimes it's not just a no. I think it oftentimes is suggestions that you should be working on. And if you take that back and work it on and come back, I think it will be a different conversation versus just kind of a simple no. So what I try to do more is sometimes give them feedback so that they can work on. So if you work on this, after 6 months we can have another conversation. So there's something that can be accomplished in that time instead of just not for us. Yeah.
So I'm always seeing you're building also a relationship with these companies, giving them feedback, giving them advice, and asking them to come back and then giving them more feedback. Again, I think what I've seen, the network that we have at Johnson & Johnson in JLabs, where we have, I think now 125 VCs, it is about relationships, it's about mentoring them. But one thing that I've seen, and again, I'm going to ask Lou on this, when the company does come back with the feedback, how do you ensure that from a startup perspective, the CEO's perspective, that you're just not asking them to do more market research in this field? Because that's the feedback I get a lot from CEOs.
Yeah, I think, for us, we, just be specific, we love robotic surgery space, and we've been investing in that space for a couple of decades. And oftentimes entrepreneurs come to us with a project and with the kind of expectations for their growth. It's not what we see, and oftentimes there's a difference in opinion, which is okay. And they go out, they talk to other 10 firms, they come back with the same conclusion. So I'm not trying to give you a biased opinion, but this is something that we have seen across industry, across 10, 20 years of development. And oftentimes people try to pick a data point, a single data point, try to be representative of the group, but it's not that way.
Good. And just again on the timeline of a 6-month follow-up, is that the norm? That again, setting the expectations for entrepreneurs is, thank you for the presentation and see you again in 6 months, or is that too long? Is that your preferred timeline? Can it be shorter?
No, there's no defined. I think I often tell entrepreneurs to get in touch with investors as early as they want, they can, and they want. Because it's a relationship. So oftentimes we invest in a company who will follow them for the last 7 years, right? So it's not the right time for us to partner. It's okay. There's always opportunity down the road, and there's a difference of opinion. It's okay. There's always opportunities down the road. So there's no this arbitrary number. It's just that getting in touch with the investors, keep in touch with them about what you're doing, and I think that's very important.
That's great advice, thank you. So whilst still, I guess, on the topic of pitching, I'm going to turn to Ji-Woong, and I'm going to ask her, what's a consistent mistake you see when companies come to pitch to you?
So I think we met a lot of companies through like partnering and through emails and various ways. And I think most companies are good at presenting what they are good at. I mean, like their good technology, how they differentiate from other companies, and if they have really good management team, they advertise it really well. But what I learned from past experience is that some companies, they are not really good at presenting their weaknesses. But before we make this investment, we always do due diligence and we evaluate the management team, financials and technologies and IPs and all different sectors. And we are gonna find those things out eventually. And sometimes the CEOs, they are worried about these factors and they try to hide these factors. And hopefully that they are hoping that maybe we will be able to find it throughout the process or things like that. But I think it's better for them to make sure that they, if they have really good defense, I think it's good for them to actually tell us that you may have concerns in the sectors, we have this type of factors that you may want to consider, but if you consider as risks, but this risk can be mitigated in certain ways so I think there's a good way of presenting like the strengths as well as weaknesses and like the whole picture of the company so that we can better understand before diving into this due diligence process. And I think that way that you can also build trust that we understand that the company is actually showing the whole picture of the company and we understand there's the weakness and if we are willing to take those risks. I think that's the good way of starting a relationship. And we always we are willing to take risks because we are interested in all these companies and there are always risks in terms of science or the company or the pipeline. But these early stage investors, we are already ready to take risks. So don't worry about like some of the weakness that you have, but just be upfront and be honest and then be prepared like how to present those weaknesses in addition to your strengths. That's the place that I recommend.
That's great, honest advice. Thank you for that, and thank you for sharing. I also do believe that when it comes to at least life sciences or say drug development or developing a diagnostic or a new vaccine, no one company can also do this by themselves. So whatever pitch you have presenting it to either a biotech, a pharma, or to a VC, it is okay to say these are not necessarily for the weaknesses, but these are the opportunities that we're looking for partnerships. So it's admitting that you can't be skilled in everything, that you have a core, strong team. This is the value proposition that you offer, your unique selling point, the technology that you have. It could be IP that you have. It could be intel you have, an algorithm that you have, and so on. But again, everything again through partnerships. Because if you look at today's drug development, one does look for different ways of partnering, whether it's for out licensing, a marketing partner, a distribution partner, or even external consulting in the early stages for regulatory, government-related insights and so on. So for the same question, again, about consistent mistakes made whilst during pitching, I'm now going to turn to Blue.
Still around that, just, really able to clearly articulate the value proposition of the technology versus other competitors is very important. Everybody's busy. The entrepreneur's busy, investors busy too. So it's important to get to that differentiation and clearly, articulate that. And secondly, I think it's on that two important slides. One is the competition, and the second is your exit comps, right? So I think sometimes the exit comps are overrepresented in the deck versus the competition. I think, as investors, we see a lot of different technologies sort of out there. So able to show that you have a good understanding of the competitive landscape linked to your differentiation is critical.
Can you provide a little bit more detail on what you mean by exit comps?
So, for example, people would say, well, I'm in medical space, medical device space. I'm working on this new medical imaging technology, and these are the past transactions in the last 5 years working on this space, and these are multiples that entrepreneurs generated for investors. And oftentimes there's not always fully represented the amount of capital went into the project and the time that it takes to develop this. So whether or not that comparison is appropriate for your product at your stage is debatable sometimes, I find personally. So
That's great. And also just when you mentioned about the consistent mistakes, something I also see is when you have a PowerPoint presentation and someone's presenting in front of you, they say sometimes the ask till the very end. Sometimes I actually prefer the ask to be right at the beginning. It sets the scene of why you have the meeting. You have a busy agenda and suddenly you have back-to-back meetings. So especially if it's a very long presentation, 45 minutes to finally get to the ask. It's no harm in putting it at the beginning and at the end for keeping reality in the Q&A. That's also a useful tip I've seen. So moving on, this session is about Asia. So I'm going to now, and I'll probably open this up to all of our panelists, which is about the opportunity, of course, in Asia, but talking about some of the differences between the countries that we represent today sitting here on the panel. And I'm going to ask, I think, Wei Yong first. Are there any differences that you see across the region, and especially, the entrepreneurs that come to you? What differences do you see when they approach you?
Sure. So personally, I grew up in China and finished my medical school in China. Then I moved to Japan for my PhD study and worked in the Japanese company before I came to the States. So I think I have a better understanding the different culture between China and Japan. And in general, I think to launch a very successful, better company, you need to do science, you need operation team, you need money. So that is like the three factors to affect the success rate. In Japan, as we all know, the basic science is very good. So every year, there is some Japanese scientists winning the Nobel Prize, right? So, but on the other hand, I think in Japan, the operation team is a problem, and there are also many people creating lifetime employment of the Japanese company to start that. And so that's different from China, that you have so many Vietnamese who train in the US and go back to China and start their own company. So I believe that in Japan, I tend to go to the university and try to, follow the opportunity directly from the academia. But currently, there are a lot of the Chinese company, starting very innovative, drug discovery. So those are also like the candidate for us to consider cooperation.
That's great, and this is a very unique opportunity, I think, where you do point out that you have China experience, Japan experience, and US experience. So being able to see that and compare is very insightful to share those thoughts. I'd like to ask Ty, do you agree with those comments?
I would half agree, but half wouldn't agree, because as an investor in Japan, we enemies. So we have seen enemies, we've seen many entrepreneurs and also operation team in biotech companies for one decade. And over the last 20 years or last 15 years, I think Japanese, especially entrepreneurs, the quality of Japanese entrepreneurs are really changing. And now we see serial entrepreneur in biotech field, and those people know how to run biotech companies and how to make asset, how to do BD, and how to proceed clinical trials. So they know how to do, and the existence and the appearance of these people is really changing now Japanese biotech market. So when we form company, we try to find these kind of serial entrepreneur or entrepreneur with some experience, previous experience in biotech, different biotech company, as much as possible, and then bring those people into companies. So the situation is changing. So hopefully, large pharmaceutical company aware of this change in Japanese biotech community. And I do agree in that science is very strong. PIs, professors in universities and institutions in Japan really interested in really science, and they're really top-notch people. So I would agree with that.
Yeah, that's a very good point to just say that Japan has a much longer history in life sciences than China. But it is also very interesting when we talk about serial entrepreneurs and the spirit of entrepreneurism. Japan, very stable economy, people in academia, staying in academia. But I am beginning to observe also people leaving their institutions that they've been tied to for decades, and now trying out being an entrepreneur. And of course, while in China, everyone is an entrepreneur. So there's obviously a different pace of life as well when it comes to that. But I'd also like to now move on to Ji-Won and ask you to give cultural insights or insights from your country on the differences, if there are, within Asia.
I can talk about the Korean market. So it's really booming at the moment. A lot of investors, they are investing into biotech and life science sectors. So the money is flowing into the sector, and that's the reason why a lot of new companies are getting established each year. Like more than 200 companies established each year. So like the biotech industry in Korea is booming, and so as the valuation, so it's going up as well. I'm personally more focused on overseas cross-border investment. So I can compare like U.S. market versus Korean market. So the biggest difference that I notice is that the investment structure is a little different. Here, like it's more common to use like convertible notes for early stage companies to recruit early stage funding before like moving into more formal financial round, equity round. But in Korea, it's less common. They are recruiting money more in similar financial round, like Series A, B, C. So I think that's one of the biggest difference. And also, like Korean biotech companies, they are usually targeting Korean stock market because the valuation is quite good these days. So they are kind of structuring the company to fit to the Korean stock market for IPO. But then US companies, they mostly target Nasdaq market, so it runs a little different. But I think in terms of science and technology, I think both US and Korean markets, they are focusing on this innovative novel science, novel technologies, new pipeline programs. I think those are the exciting factors. And more Korean companies, they are trying to also target global markets in terms of development. So they still target Korean market for financial exit, but for development, they are targeting US market as well. So they are bringing some of their scientific team into the US and building their subsidiaries in the US so that they can do global development and working with like key opinion leaders in the States as well. So I think the trend is moving. Like before, Korean companies mostly focused on only Korean markets, but now they are moving towards global markets. I think it's a good strategy, and I think also investment-wise, they were mostly rely on Korean investors before, but now they are reaching out to global investors to global company. So I'm personally very excited about this change.
Thank you. And I'd like to come back to something what you said about Korea is booming, because I think you can all say that China, Japan are also that. And part of the reason I believe is also because of the strong support from the government at the central level and at the city level, whether if you're from Seoul, Tokyo, or Shanghai, Beijing, for example. Without those supports, top and mid and provincial, that all those government support really helps build what we kind of call this innovative ecosystem, really trying to accelerate R&D to get that idea from early stage into the clinic and to the patient or consumer as soon as possible. So I'd like to ask the same question then, and Lou, can you share your experience on what you've observed across the region and maybe also compare that to the US?
Yeah, so my view is a little bit different. I mean, our fund mostly invests into North American companies, and oftentimes we help companies to looking for opportunities in Asia. Partially, there's a lot of opportunities, but there's a lot of challenges. I mean, for us on the therapeutic side, we like to pick indications that are huge in that marketplace, especially platform companies who want to co-license, co-development, licensing out with credible partners in Asia, help us to drive that indication. On the medical device side, we notice the difference in the market conditions. For cardiovascular medical device companies, we think Japan is a huge, important market, and we help them to localize in the marketplace and find partners and get a regulatory approval. But the challenge is a lot of times the healthcare system and the payer system is very different from North America, and then that creates a lot of complications. I was an entrepreneur myself, so I operate companies across Pacific, so I understand the differences. The challenges for someone flying 12 hours, 13 hours to try to find the right partner. So I think I think it's for us, we are building global companies. So we're not building US companies or Canadian companies. By definition, these companies are global companies. So I think you need to be having that sense as a CEO to see the opportunities. That's what I think.
That's great insight, and something that you also mentioned was about how different countries have different strengths. So if I just look at how we view it from Johnson & Johnson, when it comes to Korea, we may go to Korea for robotics and skincare and beauty. When it comes to China, we may go for CAR-T. And then when we go to Japan, we may be looking at cell gene therapies, aging, and basic science. So again, a deep dive into these countries across in terms of culture, but also scientific strengths. I think there's ample entrepreneurs and spirits, supporting that system. I'd like to continue with that comment, which is about technology trends now. And I guess, for 2020, we're just in 2020, so I'd like to ask all the panelists, what do they see, what really excites them in the technology field in terms of trends, upcoming trends for this year? So I'll start with William.
Sure, and cell therapy and gene therapy. And if you stay in this conference till the end, I think there is another panel about that. So I think that is definitely one of the hottest area, in the field. Personally, I'm very interested in gene therapy, especially using the AAV to treat polygenic rare disease. The mechanism is clear, and the success rate is very high. But on the other hand, there are a lot of technical challenge for AAV. One is the immunogenicity issue, right? And for about 30% of the patient with pre-existing antibody, that you cannot use AAV because the efficacy will be lower, and sometimes the immunocontext will give you the unexpected side effect, right? So that is one thing. I hope that there are more and more academia and that company can solve that issue. Second thing is how to deliver the AAV to the audience beyond the liver. So those kind of things, the challenge in this field. Even regarding the manufacture, actually, this is still like a wild west because everyone is just doing themselves. There is not the standard manufacturer method. And if you can invest in this field and found the right solution and build like the global standard for the AV manufacturer, that will be a big win for the whole industry.
Thank you. And Ty, what excites you in terms of technology trends in 2020 and why?
Yeah, to me and us, one interesting technology area we announced is cell processing and cell analysis field, especially single cell analysis field, because nowadays single cell omics and genomics, transcriptomics, and workflow information, we can do unprecedented fidelity and also scale of single cell analysis at one time, and that analysis can give us so many crucial information for immuno-oncology, and also not just immuno-oncology, but all immunology and oncology and other areas of drug discovery and drug development. In oncology, tumor tissues, cells are very heterogeneous, and a basic understanding of how those cells are different in terms of genotype and phenotype are really essential to your next line, and next innovation in therapeutic product. And understanding, a basic understanding of these differences in cancer cells and also immune cells is possible now with these technologies. And now, one theory in cancer stem cell and in cancer immunology is cancer stem cell theory. And within the theory, it's really important to understand the lineage of differentiation of cancer stem cell and all stem cell, all cancer cells. And within these technologies, it is possible for us to understand how cancer stem cell evolved into adult stem cell and how tumor is formed. And that understanding is really crucial. All of us who are involved in drug discovery and drug development, and I think it's now happening in 2020.
Thank you. And Jimon?
Yes, we are definitely interested in cell and gene therapies. I think probably a lot of us are interested in that sectors. And we are basically interested in any innovative technology, innovative next generation technologies that can bring, they change the paradigm of life science and how we do medicine, drug development, drug discovery. So one area that I'd like to add is RNA therapies. I think there has been a lot of researches, and recently we are seeing some drugs getting approved from FDA. So I think that's an exciting news, and so we are watching on the trend. The other area that we are interested in is ProTag. I think that's one area that also a lot of companies are investing into, and there is some good results coming out. So we are also interested in that. And then the other sectors that we are interested in is digital therapeutics. I think before it was more like it's not therapeutics, but more like supportive care or some devices that you can utilize to improve symptoms and things like that. But lately, I think there is more innovation in the sector as well, and making actually that as a therapeutics to meet medical unmet needs. So we are also watching our trends in that sector as well.
Great insights. And last but not least, Lou.
Yeah, so I train as a neuroscientist, so I'm biased. So neurospace is something that we're really interested in, and if you follow the Biotech news, it was pretty optimistic. Rescue and Perception last night, so it's I think we're very likely to have the first drug for AZ. So neuro is a space I think that we continue to look for innovations. I think despite a lot of big pharmas are exiting that sector, we still think huge unmet need in that space. Very young science in terms of understanding of the system, but if you combine different technologies from the oncology into the neuro space, I think and the digital therapies certainly is another direction that we closely following in the neuro space.
Great, so some common themes here. So I'd like to actually thank the panel for their inputs today, but now I would like to actually open up to the floor for Q&A. So please say your name, the company or institution from where you're from, and please ask the question, and we'll try to get through as many as possible. Thank you. Any questions?
Captain Chen from Global Airline. My question is, ever since the U.S. government started tightening up export control on the technology, in particularly over the last 12 months, it specifically tightened up the bio and the life science technology export. The CFAs and the firmers are being very tough on these taxable schemes. How do you feel about these elements in cross-border transactions, investments, global collaborations?
Who would like to take that question first?
Let me take that question first. First thing, because I represent a Japanese company, Japan is long-term aligned with the US, so we do not feel that impact us too much. Maybe China is a different story.
Anybody else? Lou? You want?
For us, it's no difference. So Canadian investors are foreign investors, but I haven't seen any issues, getting terms done. So not that much.
Yeah, we do not see the impact very much at the moment, but I think there's a lot of regulations we need to watch out, like CFIUS and things like that. So I think we are keeping the trends. Also, like in terms of making investment, we are actually trying to compare like making direct investment from Korea versus making investment utilizing our U.S. investment arm, so which can make difference. So I think there are ways that we can make it more efficient in terms of investment and partnering and things like that. So we are trying to keep track on the changes.
Like that is all coming from investor coming from Japan to US standpoint of view. I think Japan as a country, I think Japanese startup company not that affected because of CFIUS and tightening regulation. But it is true that dynamism of investors in the US is changing because of this regulation, and that this change definitely caused some tension and caused some new mode of investment. For us coming from Japan, I think because changing dynamism in investor, it's now good time for us to start investment into US, because there would be some room there hadn't been there without this tightened regulation. So this might be some different changing dynamism. This might be open up a new opportunity for investors and startup companies which hadn't been in the US before.
Yeah, I think also what I see at JLabs at Shanghai, with the entrepreneurs that sit in-house that are going through fundraising, be it seed, pre-A, A, they're agnostic to who they talk to in terms of VCs. If it's a top tier VC, one may have always a US dollar as well as an R&D fund, but it goes back to the point of, you've got to build a relationship, you've got to present the data, get practice, get your pitch right, and there will be mechanisms, I think, for funding. If not, at least there's been lessons learned along the way to get you where you are. So that's the observation I see. Certainly, I don't think they should put off entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs need to still keep focusing on their science. They still have to keep focusing on moving forward, and of course, fundraising and bringing money in and out is a very important aspect of that. But again, advice to an entrepreneur: focus on the science, do what you can do best. Any more questions from the floor, please? No more questions. So, in terms of wrapping up then, well, thank you very much again to the panelists. Thank you very much to the audience. But I do want to ask the panelists one last question, which is, what advice would you leave to our startup CEOs today? If you could give some very quick last-minute advice, take-home messages.
Focus on science.
Focus on the science.
say focus on science, say go as quickly as possible to US and to global market.
I'd like to say be yourself.
Raise money when you have money.
Great, thank you so much everybody. Thank you for attending and thank you very much to our panelists. Please give them a round of applause.